This league start has been a complete rollercoaster ride. On the downside, I've died over 150 times in the first week, which is way more than I normally die in the first 6 weeks. In contrast to this, however, I've made more currency in the first week than I normally make in the first month, pulling in more than 22 divines in the first 5 days. Hello Exile, you're watching Altec 2K Gaming. In this one, let's talk about how I made all that currency, but also how I stopped my character falling over with the slightest breeze. My character was stuck on 90 for the longest time. It just kept dying over and over. And I think I need to apologise to all those in Discord voice for my constant swearing throughout that period. You guys know who you are. So for those of you who haven't seen my League Start video, I started a subtract and build for League launch, and it was a little bit squishy for my liking. So after a couple of days of playing with the build, I have finally got it to where I can run tier 16s, only dying very rarely now. And I think I know what the problem with this build is. It's been designed around using really high-end gear. With it, it has a really impressive offensive tank. Without it, squish. Now I've never been one to rely on offences for my defences. So what I've done on the tree to make it more survivable is remove most of the damage down the left-hand side of the tree and moved it over to these life and regen nodes. On the right-hand side of the tree, I've also removed some of the damage nodes and moved them into more survivable things like these flask nodes here, or extra life nodes, or extra suppression. With these changes, my character now has over 5,300 life, a 95% chance to suppress with 56% damage prevention, all my elemental resistances are over 100, and my chaos resist is finally positive without the nodes on the tree. I also found a consistent way of getting endurance charges without relying on a shield. My character has now reached level 93, which is really impressive for the first week, at least for me. And the only thing left really on the build is to add a skin of the Lords, which I'm not going to do until they become more affordable. It's not that I can't afford one, it's just that spending that much money will make me cry. So onto my currency strategy for this league and how I made all that money. First off, let me tell you that this money wouldn't have been possible without an awful lot of luck. But then Path of Exile, being an RNG based game, requires an awful lot of luck to make any currency anyway, but let's just say I probably burnt my luck for the next 3 or 4 leagues. Okay, my Atlas passive tree is a little bit different to normal. First, let's go over the consistent. I am using Stream of Consciousness so I don't have to choose my maps. I've also gone essences for the early game crafting, which has been essential for me to build this build as cheap as I have. And I've gone for the Searing Exile nodes so I can make all that nice chaos per map. And now for that that's a little bit different. First off, I've gone Heist. And I hate Heist, but it is pretty profitable. I've also got the Juiceful Soldier to get Hook to help me whenever I open one of those thingies in my map. He's incredibly good at getting aggro from things so they don't aggro me. Normally the things that don't die instantly when I cast my fire on them. I've also gone for Mighty Hunter, which I think is new this league. Einar has 100% increased cooldown recovery rate in your maps, Einar deals 1000% more damage to unique monsters in your map, and Einar remains in your map after the mission is complete. All of these just add additional layers of defences that I wouldn't have normally. It should also go without saying that I'm using Packed with Energy for those +1 to all elemental resistances for each sulfite vein or chest found in your map. This is just way too strong to give up, and it's really easy to get even with my new Atlas tree due to the new Cryptic Gateway. I've also put a little bit of investment into Blight as I needed 3 gold oils to do my anointment. My biggest investment so far, however, is into rituals. This allows me to reroll rituals multiple times to make sure I get the best profits. I've had 2 raw divines from ritual so far, which is much more than I got last league. And a whopping 18 divine came in directly from ritual. This is in the form of a Hall of Mirrors card that came from a stacked deck. So that's the divines. How have I been making chaos in general? Heist is a really consistent way of making chaos. There's nothing like it in the game as far as I'm aware. Every map almost drops a chaos. You've also got a chance for getting quite a sizable amount of chaos from the new weapons trees that were introduced this league. I think I'll go over these though in a different video where I can give some more focus to the whole league mechanic itself. What I think may be a really good idea is to record where we were at this point in the league. Join me in doing this by simply putting the following 3 numbers in comments. Your level, the number of divines you've made, and your number of deaths. In my case it would be 93, 22 and 159. I'd also like to thank all of you for your support. We've smashed the 3,000 subscriber mark with over 250 in the last month alone. So thank you so much for that. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.